My name is Charlotte Hayes. A year ago, I walked out of the office of the man I loved, hiding in my coat pocket an ultrasound image of not one, but two babies. He looked me in the eye and said, "I will never marry you. Not now, not ever." That night, in the middle of a snowstorm, I made myself a promise. No one saves you but yourself. But I never imagined that journey would lead to things I could never have dreamed of.
Before I share the full story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments. And hit like and subscribe if you've ever faced a challenge that felt impossible. Trust me, you'll want to hear what happens next.
The 52nd floor of Graham's building always made me dizzy, but not from the height. It was the way the afternoon sun hit the glass walls, creating this ethereal glow that made everything feel unreal. Maybe that's why his words didn't register at first. "I will never marry you. Not now, not ever." I stood there, my hand instinctively moving to my coat pocket where the ultrasound image waited. 20 minutes ago, I'd been rehearsing what to say. Not asking for marriage. God, no. Just telling him the truth. That's all I wanted. Graham didn't even look up from his papers. His pen scratched across some contract, the sound sharp in the silence. I'd loved his hands once, the way they moved with such precision, such purpose. Now they just looked cold. "Did you hear me, Charlotte?" He finally glanced up, those steel gray eyes I'd fallen for now empty of anything resembling warmth. "We've been over this. What we had was good, but it's done." The phone rang. He held up a finger. "Wait," and answered. I should have left then, but my feet wouldn't move. Through the receiver, I caught fragments. "Yes, the announcement. Next month. The merger depends on it." My stomach turned. Not from morning sickness this time. "The Cole-Morrison Union will seal the Singapore deal," he said into the phone. And I understood. He was getting engaged. For business. I pulled my hand from my pocket, leaving the ultrasound hidden. Some truths weren't meant to be shared anymore. "I should go," I managed. He'd already returned to his papers. "Close the door on your way out." The drive from Boston to Vermont took 4 hours. I made it in 3, stopping twice to throw up on the side of I-89. Not morning sickness, just the weight of everything crashing down. My childhood home sat empty. Mom gone 5 years now. Dad long before that. But the Brennan's bookshop still had that apartment above it. The one with the drafty windows and slanted floors. Mrs. Brennan took one look at me and handed over the keys without asking questions. Small towns know when to be quiet. That first night, I sat on the floor. I hadn't bought furniture yet. And scrolled through 2 years of messages. "Can't wait to see you tonight, Charlie. You make everything better. I love how your mind works." When had they become lies? Or had I just been too blind to see? The morning sickness hit hard at 3 a.m. Kneeling on the cold bathroom tile, I made myself a promise. Nobody saves you but yourself. My laptop pinged. An email from Davies and Associates. They needed an interior designer for a historic hotel renovation in Vermont. I almost laughed at the timing until I saw the client name buried in the attachment. Cole Development Group, of course. Even here, 300 miles away, his shadow followed. I closed the laptop and placed my hand on my still flat stomach. "It's just us now," I whispered. Then the first flutter, too early to be real movement, but I felt it anyway. Except it seemed to come from 2 places at once. The next morning, Dr. Martinez confirmed it. Twins. The storm hit on a Tuesday in March. 7 months pregnant with twins, I'd been on modified bed rest for weeks. The cramps started gentle, like practice contractions. By midnight, I knew something was wrong. I called 911, hearing my voice shake as I gave the address. The EMT who arrived was young, maybe 25, with kind eyes. "First baby?" she asked, helping me into the ambulance. "Babies," I corrected. 2. The roads were treacherous. Through the ambulance window, I watched snow swirl in the headlights. Each contraction brought a prayer I didn't know I still remembered from Sunday school. They rushed me straight to surgery. "Preeclampsia," the doctor said. "We need to deliver now." "But it's too early. We don't have a choice." The NICU became my world. 2 isolates side by side. Emma came first, 3 pounds, 2 ounces. Lily followed, even smaller, at 2 pounds 14 ounces. Their hands were impossibly tiny, skin translucent under the blue lights. I wrote them letters in a notebook someone had left behind. Dear Emma and Lily, you're fighters already. The nurses say you're doing better than expected, but I see how hard you're working just to breathe. I'm sorry I couldn't keep you safe longer. I'm sorry you're starting life in plastic boxes instead of my arms. But I'm here, every minute, every hour. We'll get through this together. On day 3, Lily stopped breathing. The alarms screamed. Nurses rushed in. I pressed my face against the isolette, whispering promises, bargains with God, anything. She came back. My little fighter came back. 3 weeks in the NICU. 3 weeks of breast pump schedules and hand sanitizer and the constant beep of monitors. I'd memorized every tile in that hallway, every motivational poster, every... Charlie. I froze. That voice. Here, now, it couldn't be. Graham stood 10 feet away, still in his perfect suit despite it being past midnight. His face had gone pale, eyes fixed on me, then sliding to the NICU door behind me. What are you doing here? My voice came out raw. Board member. Car accident. I was checking on... He trailed off, still staring at the door. Through the window, you could see the isolettes. The names Emma and Lily were clearly visible on their charts. Are they... He couldn't finish. Yours. The word tasted bitter. Both of them. He moved toward the window like a man in a dream, one hand pressed against the glass. I watched his reflection, saw the moment understanding hit. His shoulders dropped. His perfect composure cracked. How long have they been here? 3 weeks. Born at 29 weeks. And you never... He turned to face me. You never told me. The fury I'd been holding back erupted. When? When you said you'd never marry me? When you announced your engagement to close a business deal? When exactly should I have told you? I broke it off. The words came out quiet. The engagement. I kept thinking about you. That's not my problem anymore. He looked back at the twins. Can I see them? No. I moved between him and the door. You made your choice a long time ago. Charlie, please. No. My voice broke. You don't get to waltz in here and play daddy because it's convenient now. They needed you 3 weeks ago when I couldn't breathe for fear. They needed you when the doctor said Lily might not make it. Where were you then? I didn't know, because you didn't want to know. I was crying now, too exhausted to stop. Just go, Graham, please, just go. He left, but I knew, watching his reflection in that dark window, he'd be back. He came back the next morning with coffee and a teddy bear. I found him in the family lounge looking like he'd slept in his car. I told you to leave. I know. He held out the coffee. 2 sugars, oat milk. Still your order? I didn't take it. Graham, I spent all night reading about preemies. He interrupted. About NICU protocols, about developmental milestones, about... His voice cracked. About all the things that could go wrong. Stop. I can't. He set the coffee down, ran his hands through his hair. I can't stop thinking about them in there, fighting, and you doing this alone and how I... You what? Feel guilty? Good, you should. I called off a $50 million deal. The words tumbled out. The Singapore merger. It required the marriage, and I couldn't... Every time I tried to sign those papers, I saw your face. I laughed, bitter and sharp. Am I supposed to applaud? Poor Graham, losing millions because he remembered he has a conscience? That's not... He stopped, started again. I'm trying to tell you I've been an idiot. That I chose wrong. Emma needs heart surgery. I hadn't meant to tell him. The words just fell out. A small defect, but she's too little still. They're waiting for her to get stronger. I sank into a chair. So, forgive me if your business drama feels a little insignificant right now. He sat beside me, careful not to touch. What can I do? Nothing. There's nothing anyone can do but wait. Then I'll wait with you. I'll wait in the hallway if you prefer, or the parking lot, but I'm not leaving them again. He finally looked at me, really looked. I'm not leaving you again. This isn't about us. No, he agreed. It's about them. But Charlie, they're going to ask someday. About their father. About why. What do I tell them? That I was too proud, too scared, too stupid to fight for them? The fight went out of me. 3 weeks of adrenaline and fear had left nothing but exhaustion. Fine, you can visit. Supervised. But Graham... I met his eyes. This doesn't change anything between us. He nodded. I know. But we both knew he was lying. Emma had her surgery on a Thursday. Lily was strong enough to leave the NICU the same day. The irony wasn't lost on me. One daughter free, one still fighting. Graham had been there every day for 2 weeks. He'd learned to change tiny diapers, to feed through the ports, to read their monitors. The nurses loved him. Of course they did. The apartment's not ready, I admitted as we prepared Lily's discharge papers. I haven't even bought a crib yet. I found a place. He said it carefully, like approaching a spooked animal. A rental, 2 bedrooms, close to the hospital. Month-to-month lease. Graham, it's in your name. Already paid through spring. No strings. I wanted to throw it back in his face. Pride demanded it. But Lily needed more than my studio apartment above a bookshop. Emma would need it when she came home. This doesn't mean... I know. He'd gotten good at cutting off my protests. But they need somewhere safe. You need somewhere safe. The house was perfect. Of course it was. Graham didn't do anything halfway. A small Victorian near the hospital, fully furnished, with a nursery already set up. 2 cribs, 2 changing tables, a rocking chair by the window. How did you... I had help. He gestured to the corner where Mrs. Brennan sat, trying to look innocent. Seems the whole town's been worried about you. Betrayal and gratitude warred in my chest. You had no right. Maybe not. He set down Lily's car seat, so careful with our daughter. Our daughter. When had I started thinking of them as ours? But sometimes doing right means admitting you've been wrong first. That night, alone with Lily while Emma fought her battle 2 miles away, I broke. Really broke. The kind of crying that comes from your bones, that leaves you empty and clean. Graham found me on the nursery floor at 2 a.m. He didn't speak, just sat beside me while I cried. When I finally stopped, he said, "This isn't about comfort, Charlie, or money, or making up." Then what? Trust. He looked at Lily, sleeping peacefully despite my breakdown. You trusted me once. I broke that. But maybe I can earn it back, brick by brick. And if you can't, then at least they'll know I tried. Emma came home on a Tuesday, 8 weeks after birth. She was still tiny, still fragile, but breathing on her own. The reunion, both girls in the same room for the first time, undid me completely. Graham had become a constant. Not living with us, but there. Morning coffee, evening bottles. 3 a.m. diaper changes when I couldn't move from exhaustion. He never pushed, never asked for more than I could give. Slowly, against every wall I'd built, something shifted. It happened during a night when both girls spiked fevers. Nothing serious, the pediatrician assured us over the phone, but terrifying nonetheless. We took shifts, walking and rocking, checking temperatures. I was wrong, Graham said around 4 a.m. We sat on the couch, each holding a finally sleeping baby. Not just about us, about everything. I thought love was weakness, that needing someone meant losing control. And now? He looked at Emma in his arms, then at Lily in mine. Now I know that real strength is admitting you can't do it alone. That real control is choosing who to trust with your heart. Pretty words, I said, but gently. I've been seeing a therapist. The admission surprised me. Trying to understand why I ran, why I chose a merger over... He stopped. I won't make excuses, but I'm trying to be better. For them. Just for them? He met my eyes. You know it's not just for them. I looked away first. I can't. I'm not asking you to. He shifted Emma carefully. I'm just asking you to let me stay. To let me prove that the man who said those words in that office, he's not who I want to be anymore. The photo album he'd bought sat on the coffee table. I'd been filling it slowly. NICU pictures, first baths, tiny milestones. Without overthinking, I placed a photo from tonight inside. Graham holding Emma while I fed Lily, both of us exhausted, but there. Together. This isn't forgiveness, I said. I know. This is just, maybe this is our new first page. His smile was soft, careful. That's enough. That's more than enough. The twins' first birthday party should have been simple. Just family, except I didn't have any, and Graham's mother still wouldn't acknowledge those children. So it was us, Mrs. Brennan, Dr. Martinez, and half the NICU nursing staff who'd become our village. Emma was walking, toddling, really, but mobile. Lily, my careful one, still preferred crawling, but could stand. We'd made it, 1 year, against every odd. Then Graham's phone rang. I watched his face change as he listened. When he hung up, the party atmosphere felt suddenly fragile. The board voted, he said quietly. I'm out. Hostile takeover. Turns out breaking the Singapore deal had consequences. Graham, and Miranda's suing. His ex-fiancée, the merger princess. Breach of contract. She wants damages for the embarrassment, the lost opportunity. The room had gone quiet. Emma, oblivious, smeared cake on her high chair. Lily watched her father with those serious gray eyes. His eyes. How bad? I'll lose the company. Maybe everything. He tried to smile. Guess you were right about karma. I should have felt vindicated. Some part of me, the hurt part, wanted to. But watching him kneel to clean Emma's face, seeing how gentle he was despite his world crashing down, we'll figure it out, I heard myself say. He looked up, surprised. We? Don't read into it. But my hand found his shoulder. The girls need stability. If you're going to implode, do it quietly. Mrs. Brennan ushered the guests out with the efficiency of someone who'd weathered small-town scandals before. Soon it was just us, 2 babies, and the wreckage of a birthday cake. I chose this, Graham said. When they gave me the ultimatum, come back to the deal or lose everything, I chose this. He gestured at the chaos. Toys everywhere. Emma now investigating the present pile. Lily pulling herself up on his leg. I'd choose it again. Even if you lose everything? I already lost everything once. He picked up Lily, who immediately grabbed his tie. When I let you walk out of my office, I won't make that mistake again. Emma toddled over, arms up. I lifted her, and for a moment we stood there. Not quite a family, but something with potential. I can't promise anything, I said. I can't just forget. I'm not asking you to forget. He freed his tie from Lily's grasp. But maybe we could try building something new, slow, careful, with them at the center. I thought about the past year, the terror and joy, the nights he'd stayed up researching heart conditions and developmental delays, the way he'd fought his own family for these girls. The man in that glass office felt like a stranger now. Slow, I agreed. Very slow. I can do slow. Emma reached for her sister, babbling. We moved closer so they could touch hands, their new favorite game. In that moment, covered in cake and facing uncertainty, we weren't perfect. We weren't healed, but we were here. The photo album lay open on the table, that new first page already surrounded by others. Still plenty of blank pages, though. Room to grow. They'll need to know, I said. Someday, about all of it. We'll tell them, Graham's voice was steady, how their mom was brave enough to do it alone, how their dad was stupid enough to let her, how sometimes people break things that matter, but if they're very lucky, they get the chance to build something better. That's a lot to put on a photo album. Good thing we've got time. Emma squealed. Lily laughed, real laughter finally, and in that messy, imperfect moment, I felt it. Not the ending of our story, but maybe, finally, the beginning. Let's build it slow, I said again. Graham smiled, that real smile I'd fallen for years ago. As slow as you need. The future stretched ahead, uncertain but no longer empty. We had work to do, trust to rebuild, wounds to heal, 2 little girls to raise. It wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be fast. But looking at my daughters, at this man who'd chosen them over everything, at this strange family we'd become, I thought maybe, just maybe, we could build something worth keeping. 1 brick at a time.
Sometimes life forces us to walk through pain to discover our true strength. Never forget your worth, and don't be afraid to start over, even when it feels impossible. Because sometimes, from the broken pieces, we can build something even more beautiful.